thank you so much for tuning in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for Bard Brunch. This is the first ever Bard Brunch. You are going to be seeing me weekly from my very tiny Brooklyn kitchen, creating a Shakespeare-based food or cocktail, and then interviewing a upcoming either a virtual production of a Shakespeare thing or a company that's doing some virtual things here and there. Today, I'm going to be making a Shakesburger. We'll be talking about that very soon. And then afterwards, I'm going to be interviewing Casey Lohr of the Rustic Mechanicals, West Virginia's Shakespeare troupe. They're doing some fun virtual stuff right now. And they're going to be talking a little bit about like what they're doing, why they're doing it, what their mission is, all of that fun stuff. But because I am a food-based creature, let's talk about the food stuff right now. So a Shakesburger is basically a brunch burger, but I always call it a Shakesburger when you get the egg to stick out underneath of the hamburger, like a ruff, like a collar ruff. So we're just going to be having some fun with that. All right, right now I have my Tupperware full of meat. It is a Tupperware because I'm going to be sticking the leftovers in the fridge so I can make a bunch of frozen patties for later after this stream is over. I over-season the hell out of my food, and I am a measure with your heart kind of person. So right now I'm dumping a ton of Worcester sauce on there. Some seasoned salt is going to go on there. Again, measure with your heart, not with a tablespoon. You know what you like. Garlic powder. Also, they all have different ways of opening, so I always need to look at that. And a lot of pepper. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to douse it. So I've always had this kind of a bit of a fight with myself and others, honestly, of whether or not burgers count as a brunch food. I say that it doesn't matter at all because brunch literally just means between breakfast and lunch. So whatever you're eating during that time does count as brunch. Other people say that it has to be some sort of a breakfasty creation of some kind. And I think that's silly. But since we're putting eggs and stuff on this, I think it's okay. If I'm wrong, I don't care because this is my show and I can do what I want, right? Right. All right. So that's a bit sifted in. Now, I'm going to do this thing that I always do. First of all, I'm going to get my little plate over here so I can still work with it. Now, for making my patties, I love seasoning my food. I love seasoning my food. People who know me know that I carry salt packets in my purse with me at all times. And they think that I am a creep for putting seasoning on everything. But hey, guess what? I don't like bland food, and it's going into my mouth, not yours. So who cares? All right. So we're making this patty. That's a decent-sized patty, I'd say. All right. Hey, friend. Now what we're going to do for some extra zhuzh on here, I love a little zhuzh, is we are going to take some butter and a butter knife, as you do. I have 0 counter space, so this is going to get a little complicated at some point when I start making more things. And we are going to butter the top of the patty, because that's who I am as a person. If it doesn't have butter involved with it, it's not a food. Kind of, sort of, not really, but yes. And then I'm going to add more seasoning salt. So I can open it. Yes. There we go. And a little more pepper. There we go. All right. So I'm going to toss this on. By the way, for anyone who has noticed what's kind of happening in this area, my oven stove unit has been broken for over 3 years. Landlords haven't come to replace it yet, so I had a plug-in one-top stove burner. I'm going to slam this butter side down onto here right now. Look at that sizzle. Ooh. It's like a real cooking show. I'm going to put the rest of this meat in the fridge so I can not have it turn gross. And I'm going to wash my hands for a hot second. You always got to wash your hands during the quarantine anyway, but I'm one of those people that needs to wash my hands after I touch meat. You should wash your hands after you touch meat, but some people are like, well, not until you're done cooking. And I'm like, great, awesome. I still feel icky. All right. Wash. Okay, done. Cool. A little towel here. So while this is cooking, we're going to take the side that doesn't have the butter and stuff on it and put some on. Why not? I'm gonna spread it on while it's in the pan, and I've just burned my finger on the pan because I am a dainty, delicate lady who knows how to maneuver my way around stuff. All right, that's gonna go in there. Butter's gonna go back in the fridge. Here you go. And I'm gonna add my spices to it, so when I'm ready to flip it over, it is still gonna be the same on both sides. My seasoning salt, my pepper. All right. So again, I just kind of look at how things are going. I never trust online things telling you like what's going to happen, all of that fun stuff. Also, you can see my very stuffed to the brim shelving unit right now. We have these lovely parchment paper things in here to try and hide the fact that everything is chaos. But yeah, I tend to flip my meat over and over again as I go because I'm not really a good judge as to whether or not it's done. Let's see. Let's take a little. Well, thank God my smoke alarm is broken. But yeah, that looks like it's almost a little done. And then after this, we're going to cook the eggs and all of that fun stuff. Oh, you're gorgeous. What I don't like about cooking meat, though, is that I can never tell if it's raw inside or not. But I never want to overcook it. But I can't bite into raw meat at all. It just, yeah, I'm a picky eater and I don't like that. I just don't like it. So while we're on our last stages of cooking this fun little guy up, I'm just going to sprinkle some cheese onto the top. Some just mild cheddar cheese. We're just going to let that do its thing there for a second. I don't know how to close this right now, so we're just going to put it away. And I'll figure that out later. All right. So while that's cooking, let's talk a little bit about what this show is actually going to be. This show is based on the fact that I know so many Shakespeare companies doing things right now, Shakespeare productions that are happening, and nobody else seems to. And that's driving me out of my mind. We are in a world where it's so easy to see all of your friends' stuff and also easy for you to see things that are happening all over the world right now. But since we are so oversaturated with this, plus we're all losing our minds and trying not to stay on Facebook and all that fun stuff, it's very hard to find these projects. So I decided to try and put at least the things that I think are really neat, which I am obsessed with Shakespeare, if you know me. Just the things that I really like into one cohesive area, so it's easier for people to find, to look at, to donate to things, to all of that fun stuff. All right, you're gonna be done for now. I'm gonna put you here, that side down. We're gonna drop this. That's great. You're so cute. All right, so that looks decent enough-ish. Look at me, I'm on a cooking show. Call me Rachel Ray. So yeah, next up is our eggs. I'm sloppy at making my eggs, so we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna do them one at a time because I'm very, very nervous about everything all the time, always. So I'm gonna try for a little over easy. We'll see if it's easy or if it's just over and the stream is over. Who knows? Smack that on there. Smack that on the floor. Smack that. Give me some more. Smack that. All right. Thankfully, because we've been heated up for a little while, it's a little faster than we thought it would be. All right. You're not making me want to jump off of a roof just yet, so that's cool. Let's see what happens when I give you a little flippy flip. We'll see what happens when I give you a little flippy flip. Are you gonna make me regret making a cooking show? Only a little? I'll take it. All right. So my name is kind of covering up what's happening in here, but yeah, it's not the worst over easy egg that I've ever made. And as someone who only started making them during this quarantine, I mean, I've had 6 months of practice, I guess, but at the same time, yeah, I'm not a professional chef. I like to make food. Again, I am a food-driven animal. So, egg number 1. You are gonna get out of my pant. Get out of my pant. Get out of my life. Okay. You are so pretty. Oh my God, guys. Egg number 1 is done. And it looks like I actually know what I'm doing a little bit. Oh my God. Look at me. I'm a professional. I should like have a show or something. All right, egg number 2. Let's see if you are what makes, oh, well, the yolk already broke. So that's what we're dealing with now. Let's see what happens with this. Let's just see what happens. Are you gonna make me want to take a flying leap off of a roof? And you can also add any sort of toppings that you want throughout this entire process. I personally am gonna add, when I get over to my little seating area, a little concoction that I whipped up of ketchup, mustard, and hot sauce to spread on this at will. But yeah, you can add any extra burger toppings you want on here. I'm a purist when it comes to a burger. I like meat, and I like bun, and I like sauce. And with my breakfast foods, I like egg and I like cheese. So combined, it's very easy for me. But if you want to add lettuce, you want to add tomato, you want to add pickles, it's your life. And I'm not going to tell you how to live it, especially in times like this. Why are you doing this to me, egg? Okay, we're gonna try. We're gonna see what happens. Because honestly, I'm just cooking for me. So even if it does look a little ugly, I'm a little ugly on the inside too. So it's fine. All right. So you are gonna now go into my burger. Okay. The hardest part is always getting these eggs onto my burger. Get on my burger. Get on my burger. Shut up and get on my burger. I love you. Shut up and get on my burger. Yeah. All right. We have some egg and leftovers right here. All right. So I turned you the wrong way. I want you off. Well, I finished that a little faster than I anticipated, which is strange because I was also talking during the entire process. And can you close like a real package, please? There we go. So this beauty right here. Oof. She's so pretty. Look at her in all of her glory. Oh my God. I'm gonna eat you so hard. All right. So for a lot of the rest of this cooking show, by the way, while I'm vamping because I took way too fast to do all of that, you're gonna be seeing, at least for the time being, a lot of things that you can make either just on a one-top or in a microwave, because again, my stove unit is broken. Eventually, someday I may get a toaster oven. I may also someday just get my oven fixed, who knows? But for the time being, yes, it is going to be things that you can easily make just by yourself if you have a hot plate, if you have a microwave. Nothing particularly fancy, but it looks fancy. So yeah, we have our little Shakesburger right here. This is so good. Okay. Okay. I'm trying not to eat this entire thing right here before I get over to my table. But who we're going to be talking to after this is one of my friends for a long time. Because I actually spent ages 8 to 19 living in Morgantown, West Virginia. So the West Virginia Shakespeare troupe, the Rustic Mechanicals, are going to be on with us. We have Casey Lore. She is a wonderful, wonderful actress. I am obsessed with her a little bit, and you're going to see why when I tell our tech to play the video. But basically, the Rustic Mechanicals are West Virginia Shakespeare troupe that brings Shakespeare shows to rural, underfunded Shakespeare areas that don't have a lot of Shakespeare shows going on. So basically, they try and get all of these shows that people should see, people need to see, they're classic, they're iconic, all of these things into underserved areas so that the schools don't have to pay, and that the students there get to have the same experience as students with a lot of funding who get to see all of the things. And that I feel like is a very noble cause. And also they're just really talented and I like them and it's my show, so I can do what I want. I am gonna eat the shit out of this burger later. All right, I'd rather vamp while I'm over at my kitchen table eating. So what I am going to do is ask our tech to roll that footage of what I was actually originally going to do is pirate a bunch of videos from their YouTube. But because I love the person I'm interviewing so much, Casey, and I love that this monologue that she did during this quarantine time, I loved it so much. I love the production value of it. We're just gonna play that. And if you want to see any of the other stuff, we'll tell you how to find them on YouTube. But yeah, enjoy.
But I do think it is their husbands' faults if wives do fall. Say they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us. Or say they strike us, or scant our former having in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Then let husbands know their wives have sense like them. We see and smell and have our palates both for sweet and sour as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Is't frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport, and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know. The ills we do, their ills instruct us so.
Welcome back. Let me get this situated a little bit more. We're doing a scene change. Hey, oh, scene changes have got to go. Hey, hey, okay. We can see me. We can see our lovely guest Satan over here. And yes, we are about to have a really, really fun interview. Let me change this a little bit. You should have seen that process of us moving my entire laptop webcam and tripod. If I move it too high, you can't see my food. And that's one of the points of this show is that I love food. Okay. Hello. That's about perfect. Let's just pretend that I didn't do all of that awkward struggling. All right, well, while we are here, while I am ready to eat and drink out of my favorite brand new mug, we are going to have a wonderful, wonderful conversation with the woman that you just saw on screen doing that amazing monologue, Casey Lord! Yay! Oh my God!
Hey, let me tell you, it's really weird seeing yourself on camera, and that's not the first time I've done a film project.
Yeah,
Every single time it's weird.
Mostly the sound of my own voice that I can't get.
I don't mind the sound of my voice, but like watching myself as a unit is really, really odd to me. I don't know why, like that. I'm totally cool with voiceover. I'm totally cool with just watching me mime stuff, but like that is, ugh.
The combination is a bit
I don't
odd.
want the combo. Just let me imagine in my head.
So thank you for coming on the show, first of all.
Totally.
Appreciate you so much. Tell us a little bit about the Rustic Mechanicals.
So the Rustic Mechanicals was founded back in, I believe, 2014, 2015, around that time frame. The original pitch was to help bring theater and Shakespeare to all of West Virginia, all parts, down every holler and up every hill. And that has still been our biggest mission since day one. Originally, we only did one show a year, and I believe 2015, sorry, I don't know why my dates just went, ugh. Time doesn't matter anymore.
It's irrelevant.
I think 2015 was the first year that we had our staple 3 shows a year, one in the spring, one in the summer, and one in the fall. And then since then, we've grown to so many people. I think we originally started with like 13 or 14, and the last time we did it, and please don't like quote me on this because the last time I checked these numbers was in January. I think we were up to like 60 plus people. And we hire completely West Virginia artists. They're either born in West Virginia, they have either gone to school in West Virginia or live there now, or are connected in some way, shape, or form. Like we've had a couple of guest directors who have taught at some of the universities that are some larger places. And we make sure to hire them, not just because of their talent, but because they are attached to the state. And that just makes it really, really cool.
I like that. Yeah, you don't hire from like the outside and bring them in. You actually have people in the state working on your show that's touring the state. That makes sense.
Exactly. It's important. I don't think people understand that there's this nice theater art underbelly happening in West Virginia. So when you say that, like, here's this not giant, but big theater organization that has, 60 plus people, and that's not including our kids in the apprentice troupe, and they're all West Virginia artists. It's just a nice little like blip that like, hey, there's art happening here. There's theater happening here. You should come and support it.
I love that. I love that so much.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of the apprentice troupe, tell me about it. What is that?
So the apprentice troupe started about 2 years ago. I think their very, very first show was A Midsummer Night's Dream, which was our very first show as an organization. I was not a part of that. This was way before me, but essentially what we wanted to do was to teach kids how to act, how to perform Shakespeare, as well as teach them Shakespeare beyond the classroom. I think it's really easy for us to learn Shakespeare in the English classroom, and we only see it as a literary text. We don't see it as a script. And it can be read as both. There's merit in both of those, but performing it gives a lot of understanding. Plus, these kids get, acting tips, and they get to grow their own theater craft. I think we had kids from like 5 or 6 different counties that very first year. Maybe not. Please don't hold me to this. No,
I'm going to hold you to everything.
You're hold me to every single word because I did not look up numbers, and that was my fault. Every time I'm like, I should probably look up numbers. Nope. No. Completely forgot.
Numbers are for non-theater people.
We are here to create art, not be mathematicians.
Absolutely.
They've done, we did A Midsummer. They did Much Ado About Nothing. I can't specifically remember what they were supposed to do this season. Obviously, the world wanted other things to happen. They ended up doing monologue pieces that people can watch on the YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. They did the same thing that we did with our monologues, like everyone watched. Each participant, I think the kids had to specifically do them since they were in the show, but the adults of us, we volunteered to do them so that we all had something to do. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I was really tired and bored and missed theater.
Yeah, and also, I loved your monologue. That was fantastic. I want to see more of you. I am a bit obsessed with you. For people who don't know that I'm obsessed with Casey. Also, as you could tell from that monologue, and if you've ever seen me act, Casey's just me on another screen. We are the exact same type acting-wise. So I just want to give you the monologue that I've done in Shakespeare shows and be like, cool.
So I was, what's going on?
Do we have technical difficulties right now?
Yep.
Oh, because Casey and I can still both see us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I take it away? I did take away technical difficulties.
It's still showing on our screen. I think it's you that's the problem. Our tech is having a technical difficulty right now.
It happens. Hey, this is the first live stream. It's okay.
It's the first live stream.
Enjoy the realness.
There we go. All right. So thankfully I also have a laptop nearby just in case. But yeah. Our tech is also my wonderful mom, who is doing a lot of things. She's seen me tech a lot of these shows online, so she was like, "We need to do this." And now there's 2 Chris's. There's literally 2 Chris's in the stream. That's so funny. But yeah, so that we fixed that a little bit. That's fine. That's awesome. Great. She is back. We are able to do this. Also, anyone who's watching can leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube page. And if you have a question for Casey or about the Rustic Mechanicals or anything like that,
Yes.
please send it and we will toss it up on the screen and we will answer it as we go. I think we actually have some comments. Do we?
Well, we just got a comment. We see and hear everything. So thank you, Joan, for helping out.
We see and hear everything.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Grandma. Hi. I love it. I love again. See and hear everything. Everything.
So what did you make this morning? I didn't catch on the stream. I was having problems with my eyeliner.
Yes, I made a Shakesburger, which is where you stick the over easy egg out over the thing like a little collar ruff. It's so cute. It's so fun. I am having the time of my life eating this right now.
Ingenious. That is ingenious.
I love puns.
Hey, who doesn't? Especially if you're in Shakespeare.
Next show, I'm making a Ganymede cocktail, which is going to have mead in it. I'm going to have a blast.
Mead is a great alcohol, and I highly recommend it for anyone that has never had it. We so in 2016 was the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death, right? Mm-hmm. They toured the folios, the copy of the folios that the Folger has across the United States. We, as the Rustic Mechanicals, got to get like a VIP access to see the folio, and got to go to this like cute little not dinner party, but it was like, here, have some mead and have a little appetizers and mingle with people. It was really cool. The folio, it was, you don't expect seeing a book to be like oddly life-changing.
Right?
Like, I look at books every single day. But I remember just staring at this glass case, and it's opened up to Hamlet's To Be or Not to Be speech, and just staring for 5 minutes, to the point that someone's like, hey, you need to there's other people that would like to look at the book. Weird. It was entrancing.
Mm-hmm. I remember my mom years ago, she wanted to go look at them, and she got really mad because they had, this was back in how long ago? 30 years ago, about maybe 30 to 40 years ago. She tried to go look at them once, and at the time you had to have a doctorate degree to actually even go in and look at them. And she has one now, so it was for that purpose.
She can go in now.
Yeah,
we weren't allowed to touch it. We weren't allowed to breathe on it. We couldn't take photos. There was a whole list of stipulations, but it was still such an interesting experience. And then to watch one of our guest directors, James Ricks, perform the To Be or Not to Be speech was just phenomenal. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor and a great director. And it was just a life-changing experience.
So you guys have a lot of fun. I always see these birthday posts that you guys do. And when we were talking yesterday, there was something that was very confusing to me that you actually cleared up that I would love to talk about, where in these birthday posts, there would be these weird names for all of these people. And I'm like, what is this? And then you told me yesterday that everyone gets trucker handles as part of the troupe. So what?
So most of the time when we're touring, actually all of the time we're touring, we have an Enterprise van or a U-Haul. We rent a van, put all of our pieces into it, and then we all caravan wherever we need to go. We'll carpool, we'll do anything. We are a one crew troupe. We put everything up, we do the show, we take everything down and load it up. So the very first year that I was a mechanical, it was during The Tempest. We had an actor who we're all really good with, obviously, the technical side. We have to be. He suggested that we have trucker handles because we were caravanning. And he got the original. Technically, he didn't get the original trucker handle. One of our technical guys got his original one. That was before we even had trucker handles. And so basically, each trucker handle is a moment in a rehearsal, on tour, in any kind of any faction. It could be anything. And if they see something that seems slightly meaningful, it's done. It's set in stone. Mine is Ratchet Strap. The very first year, We had these two big wall pieces for Tempest, and when you connected them, they were a book. But they were like 8 feet tall. They were really heavy. They were made with old wood. They're beautiful pieces, and if anyone ever comes to our theater space, they're there. Like, we have them set up. None of the men on our tour knew how to work a ratchet strap. I think like one of them did, but he just wasn't there in the moment to get everything set up. So I put them up for everyone. I helped them get it set up. And then we were at the final show of the tour, and someone yelled ratchet strap to like get the ratchet strap to hook it up. And I just yelled back, yeah, I'm coming. And it was just done. It was done. It was absolutely done. And everyone has a very individualized one. We have one girl, her name is AKA, because she kept saying so much stuff that like it kept giving her like a new trucker handle every single day. Like, iconic stuff. We have one actor, Josh Brooks, who is going to be on our Takeover Tuesday. This very first one is coming Tuesday on our Instagram. His name is Princess, and that is because he is very much a princess. Said lovingly, it is said lovingly, but he is a princess.
Yes, yes. I feel that. That is me in all aspects of life.
It's a nice way to kind of connect with each other and have this little like memory. Even if you weren't there for like the specific naming, you get to learn the name as a family, and it just connects you. It's really lovely. Like, even if it's kind of mean, because I don't really care for a ratchet strap because we have a terrible meaning of the word ratchet. So every time I'm like, oh, but you embrace it and you love it, and it's a nice little thing it's like a little gift from the family.
Yeah, and it's like a little surprise too, because if someone heard a ratchet strap and didn't know what a ratchet strap was, they'd be like, what? But if they heard the story, they'd be like, I learned a thing now. And
laugh at it, because it's such a cute little story. And most of the namings are relatively the same concept, the same plot line, not exactly the same, but it's always in fun. It's always in a loving moment. And it's just a really wonderful little goofy experience.
Awesome. So we have this ticker going on right now at the bottom of the screen with information about your legacy fund. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the legacy fund was built so that we can help out schools that are a bit more underfunded when it comes to theater. Right. I think we're all aware that West Virginia is a poor state. Not all over. Like, we have Morgantown, we have Martinsburg, we have larger cities, but for the most part, there are parts that are really, really poor and can't afford to bring in troops like us and people like us and organizations like us. So we built the legacy fund to help alleviate any of that. From my knowledge, we have helped a couple of schools in the past with it, and basically it's just there in the event they can pay only a certain amount, and we can help with the rest of it. So that way we're still able to fund ourselves and be able to pay ourselves and keep going throughout the state, but to be able to get it down all the hollers of West Virginia and through all those 55 counties, because there's still a lot we haven't hit yet.
Well, you're gonna soon, especially if everyone donates to this legacy fund.
That's the best part. It's really the best part, because, like I said, this is for the students. And it's not just about Shakespeare. It's about live theater in general. There are a lot of kids in this state that want to be in the position that we're in. I remember doing a show for the Governor's School for the Arts, and even though those are arts kids and they're already aware of the things that they like, the awe of watching Shakespeare and all its goofiness, because we did The Merry Wives of Windsor, was electric. It was such an electric experience. Like, I have a picture of it it's an aerial picture of us on the stage for our talk back and all of the students, and it's almost completely filled, and it was one of the best experiences of my life as an actor.
That is amazing. I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of super fun experiences with this troupe, because everything is
There are
do.
fun stories. There's a story of we did a show down in Charleston, and our one van broke down, and thankfully, like, we were done with tour. I think this was our final tour, or final show of the tour.
Mhm.
I could be wrong. I think we may have had like one more out at the home space. But the van broke down. We still had all of our set stuff into it. We had to like pull off into the sheets in Charleston and like wait for the Enterprise, then go get the Enterprise van and come back. Like, it was a whole ordeal. And this was after we had done a show, after most of us had gone home. It was like midnight. I think it was only like 4 or 5, maybe 6 of us, trying to get everything loaded into like small cars. That way we were like safely getting everything home as well as getting ourselves home. But look, in the moment, that's a terrifying experience. But looking back on it, it's like that was still fun. That was still an adventure.
All right. That is hilarious. I always love horror stories that turn out to be like a good memory later. Those are always so fun. But what's some of the more fun roles that you personally have played with the Rustic Mechanicals? Like what are, give us a little bit of a resume there, you know.
No, so actually most of my resume is fun. I played Mariah in 12th Night. Yes, that is actually how you're supposed to say her name. We had a whole conversation about it.
Good.
I played Adriana in The Comedy Bears. I played Mistress Page and the host of the Garter Inn at the same time in The Merry Wives of Windsor. Let me tell you, that was a challenge. Really grateful that everything that year was breathable, because that was a summer tour. And all of our summer tours, for the most part, are outside Shakespeare in the Park. So we're out in Shinston for a while. We could be in Fairmont. We're in places where it gets a little hot. It gets a little steamy. So having to change like out of a dress and get right into like pants and look like a man. Yeah, I think we have done 12th Night on 12th Night, and I reprised Mariah, and I did Olivia. That was more staged reading just for donations, but it was
really cool. Yeah,
really, really fun, and people enjoy it, and that's the most important part. I actually enjoyed doing the dramas and the tragedies more than I have doing the comedies.
Okay. So what are some of the dramas you've done?
I played Regan in King Lear, which was my very first tragedy. And I was petrified of it the entire time, but like I would do that show again in a heartbeat. I also had victory roles, and I loved it. It was wonderful, but my hair was done at the end of that tour. I had to do so many hair masks. It was whoo. I played Mariana in Measure for Measure. This spring, I was slated to play Lepidus and Octavia in Antony and Cleopatra until the world fell apart, which is heartbreaking, because it was going to be a really, really beautiful show with a really beautiful and great cast, but sad.
It's a time for a regroup right now.
Basically. I hope that like maybe we can do it in the future and, you know, just bring the cast back, but the universe knows. The universe will fix it, and maybe we'll try again later. I don't know.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of the monologues that y'all have been putting up on the Rustic Mechanicals. Is there anything else that you guys are doing right now for the distanced learning and stuff for the schools that are going on?
Well, we are doing a virtual recording of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Midsummer was already our slated fall show. We were supposed to do Antony and Cleopatra in spring, Taming of the Shrew this summer, and Midsummer at the fall. We had tours lined up, obviously, and when everything hit, it was kind of a wait and see what kind of happens. When Jason Young, our founder and our leader, our fearless leader, started doing the Apprentice Troupe virtual recordings, we also did sonnet recordings the same way, and the monologue work. I think that's when he sparked the idea of doing virtual recordings for a midsummer. Now they will be doing in-person rehearsals to block the show, and then over a series of 4 days, they're going to record the show, splice it together, and send it out to schools to be able to view and talk about with teachers and students.
Okay.
The very first time we're doing something like this, I am completely confident in everyone that's involved and everybody that's going to be a part of it. It's going to be a really, really interesting experience and could probably change the game a little bit for future shows.
So obviously these are going to be sent out to West Virginia schools and stuff that want them and things like that. If anyone wants to contact you for their school to see it, how would people go about that?
Go right to the Facebook page, and just that would get them linked up with Jason. Jason handles all of that stuff. Like I said, he and his wife Sarah are the masterminds behind all of this.
Great.
Yeah, that's the best way. If anyone has any questions whatsoever about how to get in contact or how to audition, how to get our stuff, always message Jason.
Now, I also have another question too. Y'all did something recently, I believe, called Shakespeare.
Yes.
Tell me about that, because that sounds so intriguing and fun.
That was the very first time we had done it virtually. We have done it in person a lot. It's a lot. We've done that a lot over the years. Most of the time we'll do it around the Ides of March. That way we can start promoting what's coming up with this season, what people should expect, and get people kind of amped up and excited. Basically, it's just like karaoke. You get a slip of paper that says, here are the female monologues, here are male monologues, and here are scenes that are male and female, male and male, female and female, for anyone to do. And you can do them in any way, shape, or form. Like, I believe Jason and one of our gentlemen, John, they did King Lear's storm speech, and every time it hit a punctuation, they would switch person. There's been gender bending. There's been all kinds of little adventures and fun. It's basically just, hey, let's realize that this isn't pretentious material and have a little fun with it.
I love that. That is so fun. And I love that concept of like open mic karaoke hybrid of like, here's just a bunch of Shakespeare things you can do. You don't have to have something pre-planned, or you can. And
you can do stuff off of the page. Like if there's a speech on there that you know that is not listed and you want to do it, you are more than welcome. If there are scenes that aren't listed, you're more than welcome. Like it's really just come here and appreciate this language with us, and let's have a little fun.
That's awesome. Are you guys planning on doing that again anytime soon? Because I know that there's a lot of people who would.
I believe so. We've been doing them virtually. So basically people would pop into the Zoom and kind of enjoy and party with us, I believe. I'm not sure if we're going to do it again. I'm sure we might. I just don't know when precisely.
Got it.
Like I said, Jason is in charge of all of that stuff. I'm just here to look pretty.
He did Midsummer Night's Dream rehearsals, but at the same time,
I don't know how that man does it, because he's playing Bottom in Midsummer. Like an iconic role is like I don't king level energy.
I remember the last time I did Midsummer Night's Dream, because I always cast myself as Titania because I'm the most comfortable cutting Titania lines because she goes on forever. And I'm like, great, I'll cut my lines first. I don't even care, whatever. And also I get to nap on the stage, which is great. For long stretches of time, although the first time we did it in New Jersey, actually, it was an outdoor park and spiders were crawling on my face. I just had
no thanks.
Stay asleep and like just kind of brush them off. It was a nightmare situation. But I don't know how anyone could get a bigger role than that in that show and also like produce and direct it. And
he's not directing it. I will tell you that we have Jim Warren from the American Shakespeare Company coming in. He's one of our guest directors. He also directed our last summer show, As You Like It. He's a wonderful, wonderful director. Obviously, he's a wonderful director. Yeah, he's helming the project that way. Jason doesn't have to do all the things. Because all the things I think would make him just lose his mind. I can't even imagine producing a show while also being in it.
It's rough. It's a rough time. Last year we did Taming of the Shrew, and I gave myself Kate because I had done it in high school, and I was like, I have the lines mostly memorized by now, 10 years ago, so that'll be easy for me to get back into the role. And we did it as 2 women, actually. We had, instead of, oh God, Petruchio, we had Patricia, and she was great. And we also added a whole S&M element into it. So instead of a male versus female conflict, it was a sub and a dom, and it was 2 women. And it was really fun, and it was exhausting for me because it was like, we were directing it, we were producing it, I was in it, and also I got tied up a lot in the show. Like during intermission, I would just be tied up and hung behind one of our revolving walls, and then I would just have to stay there until my part to come out.
So, like, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, you were done.
Post photos of my hands after that scene because they were just blue, because I would be like tied up like this, hanging from a spinning wall, and I hadn't.
God.
We have a residency at my actual job, and I hadn't cleared that at all with my boss, and I still don't think he saw it or any of the photos to this day. Thank God, because I would have been told no.
I'm really grateful that we postponed Taming of the Shrew until next summer because I am in it. I wanted to play Kate so bad. Jason actually cast me as Bianca.
Woo! Bianca.
Which, like, he said that, and I was like, "Excuse me, do you have the right email, sir? Because, like,
you would be a fantastic Bianca. I know about it.
I never even considered it because I feel like I'm already so much a Kate that it would just be easy." Now I have to work.
It's so similar. It's just Bianca's better at faking it when she needs to, where Kate doesn't give a shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
So when everything got a bit shut down and quieted, and when we officially canceled Antony, because we did try and push for it a little bit, we did virtual rehearsals to kind of keep the lines in our heads ready to go. After that, I took a month off of just everything, and then I just started delving into taming in the hopes that everything was going to be fine. And then we did start planning stuff, and then obviously we stopped. But it's okay because it's going to be next year, and everything's going to be fine, right? Everything's going to be great. We're going to have a great midsummer. We're going to have a great 2021.
New year, we're just gonna reset. We're gonna
new year, new me.
Literally.
Please.
So on a personal level, speaking of things going on right now, you are a Beachbody trainer, right?
I am.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I am doing a little bit more beyond that. I've started certification to be a wellness coach in general.
Ooh.
So when the pandemic hit, I lost my income with both the mechanicals and my own personal regular day job. I think the one thing people don't realize is while we do get paid as mechanicals, this is basically just a part-time job. A lot of people have other jobs. We have professors and teachers. We have a dentist. We have all kinds of people from all different walks of life. So when everything shut down, I was furloughed and laid off. So I focused on trying to take care of myself and went into very deep self-preservation mode. And I had been doing Beachbody for a year, and I really enjoyed it. And my coach, reached out and was like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on with you, but you may be in this situation. Why don't you try this out?" So that's basically what I just did. And I found something that I really like. I like helping people better themselves, both, physically and mentally and emotionally. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm a doctor. I can't recommend nutrition plans for people. I can't recommend certain workouts. I can give you my personal advice, and I can send you in places for, professional help. But it's nice. It's a nice way to help people. And it's one thing I don't think a whole lot of people realize is that as an actor, our jobs are really kind of locked into our bodies. Not all the time, but like this is our workspace. And we kind of have to make sure that we're maintaining this and keeping this healthy, whatever that means for anybody, because that is different for every single person.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing that I found that's helped keep me sane in this world of insanity, as well as keeping myself in check and healthy, so that when the time comes that I can work again, I feel a bit more confident in my own health.
So have you ever thought about merging those two concepts, like hosting a watch party and then instead of like a drinking game, you have to do certain workouts, like every time someone has a scheme, every time
I have thought about that. I haven't fully like delved into it. I've been focusing more on my boyfriend and I are starting a podcast. Yeah, I know. When it's dropping, I don't know yet, but
time is irrelevant.
Basically, my boyfriend is an IT specialist. He works specifically with computers. While he did play, instruments in high school and in college, he does not do a whole lot of theater. I think he did like one musical theater piece in his entire life. Basically, it's let's watch a Shakespeare adaptation, whether that is a very strict from the page to the screen adaptation or
She's the man.
Yeah, exactly. And contrast how together they are, what was changed, what should have been changed, what could have stayed, and talk as like an actor and a professional in this field and a layman, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, whenever that drops, I would love to have you back on the show, and of course, I would love to have you back on the show whenever.
Well, our very first episode, we have started watching. Very first episode is going to be Hamlet versus Lion King. We started watching Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet because that is the closest adaptation you will find that isn't like a billion hours long.
Yes.
However, it is still very long. And not that I don't love Kenneth Branagh, but after a while, my eyes start to glaze over.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my job. I'm supposed to like.
Yeah, I finished a whole Hamlet festival, and we did not have a by the book Hamlet in it at all. I refused because I was curating it, and I'm not going to do that to myself.
It is a great show.
I love it. But
to be honest, I did not like the show until we did it. And I really think like the reason I liked it was because of the people attached to it. And because Daniel Crowley played Hamlet and he was absolutely phenomenal. I finally understood why he does what he does. Not Daniel Hamlet, but like it was such a beautiful, beautiful performance. Like that is the only time that I've ever watched Hamlet and not like glazed myself over. It was such a good show, and like, please go check out the pictures on our page. Go look at like anything you can find. It was a great performance, and Daniel had to learn the lines in like 2 weeks. We ended up having like a really big casting shift, and Daniel got handed the role and had to learn all of Hamlet in like 2 weeks. And I will never like. It was phenomenal. It was mind-blowing. If you can work with him, please work with him. He's a great actor.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw him was years and years and years ago, and I don't think I've ever met him in person at all ever, but I've been a bit of a fangirl ever since, because I saw him in Once Upon a Mattress at Fairmont State as Sir Harry, and I was like, this guy is talented. And then he had like a fan page at the time that I went and liked, even though I was some like dumb high school girl who was like, I've never met this person, but you're talented. And since we have so many mutual friends now, I still see this person pop up all over, and I'm just like, you are a very good Sir Harry, and I appreciate you still.
Yeah, one of the guys that I work with at Empty Pockets in Morgantown is like obsessed with him. Like he's like he's amazing. I want to work with him, but I'm also afraid to work with him because he might like showcase that I'm not a professional actor. What
is a professional actor these days anyway? Come on.
I don't know.
And like, no matter what you do, you're gonna make an idiot out of yourself in front of everyone that you work with on a show.
Absolutely. There's always one time. There's always one time.
I don't know how many times I've had to speed past people as I was waiting in the wings and being like, I have to pee immediately. So like, if people can see that happen to me, I feel like, oh, there was also one. Yeah.
If you can do like quick changes in front of people that you barely know,
if you can make them help you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When I did 12th Night, I played Mariah and we made her like a punk rock French maid. Yeah, punk rock French maid, because it was like an Elizabethan meets punk rock. It was really cool. But I had to wear this corset, and it was like I had to hold them up and suck it in while someone like hooked me up. I loved it because it was a great costume, but woof.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that.
Baptism by fire.
I remember, I think one of the worst, because when you're out in the real world, people help you change all the time. But one of the like weirdest costume change help things that I ever needed was in high school for a competition show. And we had like a plainclothes scene into a prom scene into a plainclothes scene again. And for some reason, my skinny jeans wouldn't come off. So backstage, it was like me, the student assistant director, and our like one stagehand trying to tear my pants off of me as I was trying to get into this dress. And this was one of our like rehearsal type things that we would have in front of the school. So it was also one of those things where like, it wasn't even like I was somewhere else in the state making an ass out of myself in front of people I don't know. If this didn't work or fell out on the stage, because we were right out in the wings too, everyone in my school would have just seen me half pantsless and two people trying to wrestle these pants off of me. So ever since then, I've refused to wear skinny jeans on stage, but I still have had a lot of interesting help with quick changes throughout time.
You learn that theater is a collaborative effort. It's a community, and if you're not going to be a team player, you probably shouldn't do theater, because it is. I don't think people realize that the theater is very much a team environment. Mm-hmm. Even if it's only like a 1 or 2 person show, it's still very much a team thing.
It's still an all hands on deck situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you would like to just give us a little fun tidbit about the Rustic Mechanicals before we let you leave and go about your merry little Sunday?
Basically, if you want more information, please go like our Facebook page. You can just easily search the Rustic Mechanicals like that and just put it in the search bar. We do have an Instagram page. Please go follow that. We'll be doing these Takeover Tuesdays for the next couple of weeks to help you guys see what all shenanigans are going on with Midsummer and get to know some of our actors besides just me. Because I'm not working on Midsummer, so I am not the person to ask at all. I can tell you the storyline.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, do you have like a setting for it? Because
I have no idea. Like, I literally have no clue. All I know is that it's being virtually recorded and it's going to be sent out, and that's about all I know right now. I'm fairly certain that we'll get a tour email or a troupe email later on that gives us a bit more of a breakdown, but I'm honestly not sure. If you're interested, hit up the Facebook page and message Sir Young.
Keep us updated too, because we'll be featuring other shows throughout the rest of this thing. So we would love to give little updates about like what you guys are doing and all of that fun stuff. So please keep me updated so I can keep
absolutely
aware as to what's happening. They want to know.
Like I said, check out the Instagram page. Yep. There's going to be some fun little stuff going on. Check out the Facebook page. There's going to be some cute little things going on. I'm fairly certain there's probably going to be a promo video, hopefully coming up soon. I don't know. Please don't hold me to that. Like I have said.
No, I will.
Next time we do this, it's every time I say please don't hold me to this, everyone takes a shot.
Just a little 10 burpees.
Just a little. I can't do 10 burpees. I'm not going to force anyone else to do burpees. Ugh. What do you dislike more, burpees or the worst Shakespeare show ever written?
Ooh.
Wait, real question. What is the worst Shakespeare show that was ever written?
Oh my God. I'm gonna be thrown on the fire for this a little bit, but I don't like Tempest that much, even though it's a show that I do all the time, as many times as I can.
So it's so iconic. That would not be my that would not be my pick. I think
I hate the ending. I hate it. I think there needs to be more closure or something. And I've cast myself as Miranda in many a Tempest. I've done my first ever Shakespeare show when I was 12 was playing Trinculo in the Tempest. Like, I love it, and I hate how it's written.
I don't know if I have one. I think like just the history ones are really, really boring, especially since they're not history related at all.
No.
I don't know. And I'm like, so I'm doing this like project that's called Shakespeare 2020. And it's to read every Shakespeare piece, like sonnets, poems, by the end of the year. And you have like specific times to read stuff. So, you know, you would think that I would have like one that I hate the most. Oh my God, I don't. I have ones that I wouldn't want to act in. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to act in, like, I wouldn't want to do Comedy of Errors again. Because like it just wasn't. It's such a weird script.
Yes.
It's so weird. It's a funny story. It's an absolutely funny story, and I would watch it. But I don't think I would want to. I don't think I would want to reprise Adriana. I'm kind of mad at myself for even presenting the question because I don't have one that I hate. What?
Well, awesome. I mean, if you figure one out, let us know. We'll tell people during the next show what your most hated Shakespeare show is.
I mean, I think my least favorite is Romeo and Juliet, and I think that's mainly because it's just overdone. It's so done. Not that it's not a good show. It's a great show, and everyone should see it at least once in their life.
Oh, wow.
But like, it is so overdone. I'm dreading that episode of our podcast, having to watch Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my God, 2 different versions of it.
I will say our version of it, we set it up as the Hatfields and McCoys, and we made the set 2 full house fronts. So like there were porches, there was like a little roof, like it was an insane set, but it is beautiful, and it was a beautiful, beautiful show. Yeah. I enjoyed it then, and it's my people, so of course I enjoy it. But like it really was. You get to see like some really great actors that you wouldn't expect to be in West Virginia, like at all.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, you wouldn't expect actors to be in West Virginia. As someone who was born and raised in Morgantown, something that my mother and I talk about all the time is West Virginia breeds actors somehow, and we don't know how they do it, but every single person that we know from West Virginia who's been an actor has stayed an actor, essentially.
Exactly.
Because for some reason, it's in the water. It's in the water somewhere there.
I mean, we have to creatively get out of the hills and hollers a little bit. Why not? I have seen a lot of great actors throughout the state, and I am really, really grateful to be a part of this troupe and of this state. And I remember being like 18 and telling myself that I was going to move away from West Virginia and be an actor someplace else. Mm-hmm. And while there is a part of me that still wants to like go do stuff outside of the state, I will never not be attached to her in any way, shape, or form. Like I no longer live in West Virginia. I live right over the state line in Pennsylvania now, but it's still very important to me that I'm a mechanical. It's still very important to me that, you know, I make sure I'm doing stuff for the state because it is my home. It's the place that I grew up. It's the place that I love. It's the Mountain Mama.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is a wonderful, wonderful place to end. That is a high note. That is spectacular. Casey, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for reaching out.
Of course. Yeah. We loved having you on our first ever Bard Brunch, and you guys are doing so much. We would love to have you back sometime. So thank
Absolutely.
You so much.
I'll reach out and see if we can get some other people involved. This will be really, really fun.
No, it's going to be just you and me. No, okay.
The Queen's Corner.
It's just us.
It's just us queens.
much, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so that was awesome and fun. We are gonna close out the show with some ending credits, and during the ending credits, I'm gonna be doing one of my favorite monologues, Phoebe from As You Like It. I did it for 1.5 million competition shows back in West Virginia. I did it all of the time. Oh my God, I hate mirroring. Hello, I'm still seen. And I'm gonna have it up on my phone because I didn't memorize it again for this, but I haven't changed it at all since the last time I did it the first time. So if you want to just look at the credits, feel free to do that. Think not I love him, though I ask for him. Just what a peevish boy. Ugh. He talks well. What should I, for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those I hear. It's a pretty youth. Not very pretty. I'm sure he's like proud, and yet his pride like becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing about him is his complexion. Oh my God. And faster than his tongue to make offenses, I did heal up. He's not very tall. For his years, he's tall. His leg is but so-so. And yet tis well. Because there's this pretty redness, and it's a little more riper and lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. It was like just the difference between the constant red and the mingled dusk. There'd be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels as I had, would have gone near to fall in love with him. Like, for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet I have more cause to hate him and to love him, for like, what had he to do to chide at me? He said that mine eyes were black. Yeah, and my hair black. And now I remember scorned at me. Ew. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Admittance is no quits. I know. Oh my God. I'll write to him a very like taunting letter. And thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Sylvia? No.